Welcome back to Fox 5's On the Hill Live this Sunday morning. We want to turn now to D.C. and the resignation of the top D.C. public safety official, former deputy mayor Chris Geldart. Now, he is a former deputy mayor after exclusive Fox 5 video showed Geldart, who is on the right here, allegedly grabbing Dustin Woodward, a trainer at the Gold's Gym in Arlington on Wilson Boulevard, by the neck. Geldart is now charged with assault and battery. He resigned in the wake of the incident, and then growing questions surrounding his residency in Falls Church, Virginia, where the D.C. Code says high-level employees and appointees by the mayor have to live in D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser's office faced a backlash at first after issuing a statement saying, quote, "The incident is something that happens to a lot of people." Well, the mayor refused to watch a video of the incident when it was presented to her later. Said this.
I think all the reports suggest it was over a possible door ding, so I would call that minor. Do I think the effects of that were minor? No. I think that was serious. The response was serious, but I think what it was about nothing.
Well, this week's D.C.'s Attorney General Karl Racine, who is about to end his term in office, openly questioned Geldart's fitness for the office that Mayor Bowser appointed him to.
Do you believe he was fit for the role in the first place?
No.
Why or why not?
No. If you're going to run or be the deputy mayor for public safety and justice, you should have a track record around the issues involved in that jurisdiction. The record shows that he did not.
Well, Michael Brice-Sadler is a reporter for the Washington Post. He has been covering this issue, and he joins us live this Sunday morning. Michael, it's good to see you. We know that you spoke to Chris Geldart. You have a story in the Post this morning. What does he have to say for himself?
Well, ever since resigning Wednesday, there have been a lot of questions about what exactly was going on with his living arrangement. And he talked to my colleague, actually, Emily Davies, and basically presented an explanation. He says he was geo-bacheloring, which is a military term. Basically, when your family is located in one place and you might be living in another for whatever reason. And in this case, he says it enabled him to be able to satisfy the requirements of the law, which is to have a residency in D.C. and have a D.C. license. But his family was in the middle of a lease rather, in Virginia. And to satisfy the agreements of that lease, he decided to basically live out of both places, sometimes in D.C., sometimes in Virginia.
Michael, I got to tell you, my father was in the United States military as an officer for decades. I've never heard this term geo-bacheloring. It sounds like something you do with a GPS locator in the woods somewhere. Essentially, he was doing this to get around the rule, though, wasn't he?
I'd say that's an argument that could be made, whether he was doing it to get around the rule. In this case, he says he was doing it out of necessity. Either way, the mayor's office looked at this and decided that mutually, they say with Mr. Geldart that it was too much of a distraction as they were undergoing a review of this situation, and they agreed to part ways over it.
Let's do the autopsy on this a moment, because there seems like there was an evolution on the mayor and both the mayor's office on exactly what went down here. You know, Fox 5 exclusively got a hold of this video, put it on TV. At first, the mayor's office comes out with this statement that basically says, well, this is something happens to everybody. And you might have dinged somebody else's door. I don't know how many people put their hands on another person's throat. Did they maybe jump the gun on maybe making this sound a lot less what it actually was? This man's charged with a crime right now.
Well, I had a chance to ask the mayor that this week, and her response was essentially the inciting incident, which was dinging someone's door, was minor. That was small and something that does happen to people. But then she went on to say the physical altercation that took place afterward was more serious. And I also asked if she had seen the video before she made that statement, and she said the answer was no, she hadn't. So maybe if she had, or if the situation had played out a little bit more, the statement would have been different. But ultimately, you did have a change of tune between earlier in the week and then when the resignation came.
Yeah, but there was that bizarre scene this week where, you know, one of our reporters, Sierra Fox, actually was trying to show her the video. She wouldn't even look at the screen there for a moment. And, you know, it does at times speak to this thing that people say about Mayor Muriel Bowser, where she sometimes is a little too standoffish for her own good at sometimes. What did you make of not even looking down at the phone to look what this was? Wouldn't you want to know that?
Well, I saw that interaction and I didn't have a chance to ask the mayor about it myself, but it certainly raised questions about how this entire incident has been handled, I think, especially when you look at the questions that arose from the beginning and the review to suddenly reaching a conclusion. Thankfully, she did take questions and we were able to press her on it. But the bad press around it, reporters were clamoring for days and days. The chorus kind of grew louder of people who wanted to know more about what was going on. And ultimately, they reached a decision to part ways over it.
Hey, Michael, we know that Chris Geldart's going to be in a courtroom this week on these charges. Is there any indication what he's going to do next?
None whatsoever. I think at this point he's evaluating what's best for his family. Obviously, he's now out of a job. Unclear whether he will move to D.C. He said that was what he was intending to do all along. So we'll have to watch and see what plays out in court. But ultimately, his position in D.C. government is gone. All
right. Michael Brice-Sadler is with the Washington Post. We thank you so much for joining us live here on this Sunday morning about this story that's really kind of sparked to life with that exclusive video on Fox 5.